Austin coffee technician here. We've got this Andreja Premium by Quickmill. This is a very old unit. How old is it? I couldn't tell you right off the bat. There's no spec plate available, but it's probably back here somewhere. But I can tell you it's probably in the 2005 maybe, 2005. My client is having issues with the pumping, the pressure in general. Now this is a vibration pump model that's plumbed in. You don't see this a lot. So that little solenoid there gets a lot of work. I may have been the one to do all this work back in the day before I started my own thing, because I've known this client for, I don't know, half of my career by now. Oh, here we go. Nothing really here, I can tell. So I'm not sure. Ain't that funny? Well, we'll deal with that in a second. Okay, here she is. And just what a bundle of mess. Just a mess in here, like with the wiring. This is crazy, man. All right, so at the very least, I'm gonna replace or rebuild. We're gonna test all of this. I want to probably replace this pump. As for it, I think they're getting plenty of steam, but look, we got some leaks over here, possibly. Vacuum valve's probably really worn. I think we can install a better switch here for her. I've got a new one here. Well, not a new one, but a better one. Pulled it out of a machine I got back there, so we're gonna use that. I think I talked to her once about possibly doing a full rewiring. I mean, the wires themselves are good. They just look like a mess, and I think I did the best job I could. And then look, we put this on, I don't know, years ago to insulate this boiler, and yeah, I don't think that does very good. So, and actually got me thinking about upgrading the insulation that I was using. Ceramic blanket, fiberglass outer wrap, and then stainless steel ties. And boy, I think that'll really keep that heat in real nice. First and foremost, let's get this thing running just to see what we're dealing with. All right, these are ear clamps, Oetker clamps. When I was coming up, I was told to just squeeze here and it's gonna cut the ear off. And that would also send an ear flying. And as I grew up, I started understanding how it attached. And I think the easiest way to get these things off is to turn it first and get access to it where it actually connects to the other side. And you just kind of break it off. And then you can carefully just pull the whole clip out. Now, careful, if you have a plastic fitting here, you may damage the, the fitting itself or even the tubing here. But a lot of times if you're pulling this out, it's a good idea anyways to cut it back and use a fresh part of the tube. So these were jumped, the pump. So anytime the pump turned on, it would turn on the solenoids as well. It fed that. That's so funny. Just pinch it off. That's good enough. And we can plug it in and see what happens. You ready? Okay, so we filled. Let's watch the flow. Doesn't look too bad. Let's run a back flush to see the pressure coming out of the gauges here. Showing us a little under 8 bar. Okay, you know, and as I'm looking at this, I'm gonna definitely replace all of these lamps. Okay, the vacuum valve closed up. And yeah, that's some new stuff there. It's definitely in good shape. We've got an actual thermometer and a barometric meter in here, a barometer. I'm not getting the proper pressure out of here, so we may have a clog in there. Steam one hasn't worked in a while, they said. Now let's see, I think I did something while I was here, when they were here, to fix it real quick. Yeah, see, I put So I got that working. But we're gonna open up that anyways to change out gaskets. So we got some work to do on this thing. Falls right in there. So yeah, this electromagnet still is doing its thing. Now you might have seen me open these before. Yeah, and see, like that's just really jammed up and stuck. It's gonna have a very hard time vibrating easily. And I can tell you, if you can just feel how smooth that is now. That does so much, and as long as that electromagnet works, it only got bad mechanically, not electromechanically. You have a thicker one and a thinner one. Put your thinner one there, your thicker one there. That's ready to go. We'll pop our one spring in. We'll pop our plunger. Before we close anything up, we'll just give it just a quick little lube. We don't need much at all, just a little slap of it, just so it gets things working. It's also a good idea to give a little bit to that O-ring there. Just run it across that surface. Okay, now we're just about putting it back together. I close it up. ACT 626. There it is. All right, real quick, I installed some new LEDs and we did some wire nuts in there, wing nuts. What do we call these? Wire nuts, I guess. We do this because it makes it easier to replace them later in the future. I'd hate to have to like solder this together, do any soldering. This does the trick perfectly, safely, and we can replace things much easier in the future. Looking towards the future. All right, I'm dealing with the wire management at the moment, and I'm finding a lot of redundant cables in here, a lot of redundant wires. And what I mean by that is that this was not made as a plumbed-in model. This was converted that way. So it looks like when we converted it back in the day, we wanted to make sure it could be converted back. So we left all these extra wires, which left just a big old mess. So I'm actually going to take all that stuff out. The tank sensor, the micro switch for that, it's just jumped and it has a long wire and it's up in here. It didn't need to be here. So we're eliminating all those old wires and we're going to shorten up a bunch of these other wires that are just extremely too long. And then I'm going to try to wrap it in some protective wrapping here. And I think we're going to make this look beautiful. Okay, so I eliminated a bunch of wires we weren't using. I was able to protect and get a nice harness going here. I'm gonna zip tie the LEDs here, easy access, and it is just looking wonderful. It's nice and clean again in here. I do need to inspect the boiler here because I'm seeing some cruddy duddies down there. I'll get you down there. Yeah, you can see that there's definitely some scale on its way out of there. So we're just going to flip this baby on her side and we're going to get to that heating element. Yeah, check it out. Scale galore. We got to deal with this. We're going to pull off that element and see what we got. We're dealing with scale. It's a bit muddy. I'm gonna flush this boiler as much as I can, and we're gonna test this as well, make sure that this is still within its speckaroo. We clean the elements, clean the area around it. Not too much scale inside, nothing built up really. We're gonna try to flush out as much as we can. But what we have going on here is looking really great. So we're reassembling now. All right, we got nice, clean, steamy valves. I left the Teflon on because it's good to reuse them if you can. And yeah, and they're still in good shape. I may opt to change them still, so we'll see. All right, lots been done. I'm just not feeling myself. The camera's low on battery, and I can't really do the handheld thing very long. But we've got a lot of progress here. Found a clog in the hot water line. It was right at the valve, so that was real nice and easy. Cleared everything out. We descaled both the steam and the hot water pipes and valves. Beautiful. I still got to do this and this and this. All right, ready to rebuild the steam valve and hot water valve. New gaskets. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. All right, much closer to testing here. Just a quick little update. Wire management is just about complete, if not done. And this is the pile of stuff that completely came out of this machine. Okay, I'm about to fire it up. One thing I like to make sure I do is take one of the leads off of the heating element just in case something goes wrong and it tries to heat up before the fill. Here we go. Cross your fingers. Everything got wired right. Pump is pumping. Sounds so much better. I should probably get this line in here. Got the drip tray in, and put a little E-clip on that exhaust. And here we go. Nice blue lights. Red light on. Filling is occurring. My issue with this is that usually that's recycled back into the tank, or a reservoir, if you will. And so they're always having to empty out this drip tray, which is supposed to be quite a hassle. Okay, finish the fill. Yeah, one thing I didn't even look at yet was this expansion valve. I picked up some of this fiberglass pipe wrap. It's not the insulation blanket that I wanted, but the stuff that I ordered is not going to be here for a few more days. So I figure I'm going to use this stuff with the fiberglass blanket, and it's going to be just as good, if not better. So I think the best method would be removing these guys so that we can do the wrap a lot easier. Okay, it gives us plenty of room to work around this thing. So just a matter of getting it around the boiler here. A few more things have been done while I've been off camera. Since I got pipe wrap, I thought let's wrap these pipes. So that was pretty fun. I also replaced the gasket, which was terrible gasket. This thing was in rough shape. So I replaced it with a Teflon gasket. Hopefully that'll do way better. So we gotta do some adjusting to that valve right now. But we're ready to turn it back on and see what kind of issues we have. I'm gonna check this jet valve. We still are yet to rebuild the group head. We're gonna get there, don't worry. Yeah, that's definitely gonna cause that issue. We're not getting enough pressure out through the front of the group head, and it's due to scale. Yeah, we had a floating bit of scale blocking that hole there. Boy, I can get pretty messy when I do these repairs, but yeah, we're gonna finish up here with the E61 rebuild. We descaled the mushroom valve here. I gotta clear out some of those holes a little better and clean that in there. I didn't get that descaled very well, looks like. We'll get that fixed up. Polished up the camshaft and the valve heads as per usual. We like to mirror polish that so that the interacts so smooth. We're moving along here. Another hour or two has been put into this thing. Okay, finished the front end build here. Everything has just been adjusted, taken off, cleaned, put back together. This is absolutely feeling wonderful. Doesn't get any better than that. So we're gonna turn her on and we're gonna see how she does. All right, we got our flow. I need to clean up this bench, so let's do that right now. All right, this beautiful machine is at temperature. I'm gonna replace the vacuum valve still, but this insulation is very good. Wow. I mean, I still feel heat, but it's like I can put my finger on there pretty comfortably without even feeling the heat at all. Wow. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Here's like at the front side. Those LEDs make this unit shine. Not too bad, huh? Green light means we finished heating. Waiting for the heat cycle to turn back on, and there it goes. Boy, it's so much neater in here. Just the one last look before we close it up so you can't see it anymore. Hey, thanks for watching. If there's any tutorials you want me to do, give me a holler. Thanks for watching. Be cool, stay hip, get yourself a hobby. God bless.